Welcome to the first part of my walkthrough for Resident Evil Zero, my friends. Just like my walkthrough for Resident Evil Remake, this walkthrough will be played on hard difficulty for starters, and it will be a no damage walkthrough where I will show you the location of all the files, and I will also take the time to read the files and include all the cutscenes, so I'm really not worried about time, but I'm still fairly certain that we'll be able to complete this game in less than 3 hours and a half, so you should still obtain the S rank, especially if you skip the cutscenes, by following this walkthrough. And since I'm not taking damage during this walkthrough, I will also gain trophies for not using first aid, sprays, or mixing herbs and so on. So if you want to complete the game, then this is the walkthrough for you. I'm really excited to get started, so let's just start by witnessing the intro cutscene, and I'll be back once the gameplay begins. I hope you enjoy.
A Midwestern town in America, Raccoon City. A solitary island far off in the sea, Rockfort Island. An island that would become the second Raccoon City, Sheena Island. There are still many unanswered questions about these seemingly unrelated yet intensely traumatic events. Though it is believed that the international enterprise umbrella was somehow involved, little is known as to the origin of this faceless corporation. When was it established? By whom? And how was the T-virus created? To uncover the truth, we must delve deeper into the events which transpired in the beginning, before the mansion incident.
Do you think so too?
Yeah.
Do about it.
Should hold off for a while.
But I wonder how those R&D people would react to this.
Began as a simple investigation of some bizarre murders in the suburbs of Raccoon City. Nothing in our training could ever have prepared us for the nightmare that ensued. We never stood a chance.
What's going on? Engine failure! Emergency landing!
Check the current position and investigate the surrounding area.
Captain, look! Captain!
What happened?
Court order for transportation. Prisoner Billy Coen, ex-lieutenant, 26 years old. Court-martialed and sentenced to death July 22nd. Prisoner is to be transferred to the Regathon base for execution.
Those poor soldiers. They were good men just doing their jobs, and that scum murdered them and escaped.
All right, everyone, let's separate and survey the area. Our friend is brutal and ruthless. Keep your guard up.
A train.
Well, you heard it, the door to safety is shut, so we'll just have to keep moving forward, even though honestly it didn't seem like we were safe outside either. So this is just the first training manual. I'm just going to skip through it, we don't need to read it. And this is the court order, which grants permission to execute Billy Coen. I'm sure we won't run into him anytime soon. And as you can see, we're controlling Rebecca Chambers. She's a support character in Resident Evil Remake, but here she's one of the main characters. So let's just get through this door and see what happens next.
This is Officer Chambers from S.T.A.R.S Bravo team. Please identify yourself. Is someone there?
The government has announced that it has set out to protect our department. But as of 2 years ago, when several plans were set up, the local government stepped in and took over.
I guess he wants his radio back, but we're not going to give it to him. So, with the auto aim, Rebecca will automatically point at the guy behind her, and that guy always dies with a couple of bullets. We're going to take care of these two zombies as well, get them out of our way, but they're really not that tough, as you can see.
What just happened? I thought they were dead.
Famous last words, but let's get through the door, and we're going to get another file now. Which will offer some more explaining about just what's going on this train. As you can see, it's not your average train. So if for some reason you don't manage to read everything as I skip through the pages, you can always pause the video, read and then move on. I wanted to try and give enough time for you to read it, but if for some reason you still can't, then just pause the video, and on the description of this video you'll find a timeline where you will be able to jump to all the key points of the video and find out the location of all the files and so on, so that should make navigating through the video a little bit more easy if you are looking for a specific file or for a specific sequence in this walkthrough. I have your back. Of course it's the virus, it's always the virus. Even though I suppose at this point most people didn't realize that Umbrella was evil. Okay, so now we need to get a key. Things are about to get very interesting. Just take a look at his body and get the key.
Billy. Lieutenant Coen.
So, you seem to know me. Been fantasizing about me, have you?
You're the prisoner that was being transferred for execution. You were with those soldiers outside.
Oh, I see. You're with S.T.A.R.S. Well, no offense, honey, but your kind doesn't seem to want me around, so I'm afraid our little chat time is over.
Wait! You're under arrest.
No thanks, Dollface. I've already worn handcuffs.
I could shoot, you know. Edward! Are you alright? What happened?
It's worse than... We can't. You must be careful, Rebecca. The forest is full of zombies and monsters.
Zombies and monsters.
Okay guys, time to avenge poor Edward here. As soon as you can, start firing at the dog, otherwise you might get beat here. Rebecca will automatically aim at the dog. And 4 to 5 bullets should finish the dog off. You'll see the dog scream like a monkey, and that means it's dead. And once you move forward a little bit, the second dog appears, so let's shoot him as well. One more. There we go. That primal scream always gets to me. Poor Edward was the first victim of the terrible monsters that are lurking outside. Unfortunately for Edward and the Bravo team, most of the other Bravo team members will be joining him soon, in about a day's worth. Because as you know, most of them die in the mansion. Let's take care of this zombie, get him out of our way as well. Everyone seems to want to punch my ticket, but I don't have one, so I have to do this. By the way, if you want to run just a little bit faster, just like with the Resident Evil remake, if your character isn't carrying a weapon, they will move just a little bit faster, unless they're carrying the knife. If they're using the knife, then I think they run at the same speed.
This is Rebecca. Over.
Rebecca, can you hear me? This is Rico. What's your location? Over.
Enrico! Hello! Can you read me? Please respond.
Rebecca, I can hear you. Now listen up. We've obtained detailed information on the fugitive from a document found in the wrecked wagon. Billy Coen killed as many as 23 people. Over.
23 people.
We have also confirmed that he was institutionalized, so keep your guard up. Can you hear me, Rebecca? Over. Stay alert, Rebecca. He wouldn't think twice before killing you.
Enrico! Captain! Hello? Hello!
Oh, Enrico, what were you thinking? Sending a rookie to look for the fugitive on her own.
It's gonna be dangerous from here on in. Why don't we cooperate?
Cooperate with you?
Listen, little girl, if you haven't noticed, there's some pretty freaked out things on this train. And I, for one, want to get out of here. I don't think we stand a chance doing it alone.
You expect me to trust you, a wanted felon? I don't need your help. I can handle this on my own. And don't call me little girl.
All right, Miss Do-It-Yourself. What should I call you?
The name is Rebecca Chambers, but that's Officer Chambers to you.
Well then, Rebecca, why don't you go and try while I wait here?
Yep, sounds like a good idea. I'm sure nothing bad will happen. But here's another file. Make sure you get it, even though you can't really miss it. It's right there. And then we're going to move up the steps. As you can see, Billy is your typical bad boy, if you want to call him that. And the tough guy. He's no Barry though, but We'll get used to him.
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Yeah. Make a run for it.
Are you okay? Who is that guy?
What's going on? Who's controlling the train?
Go and check out the first engine car. Listen, we gotta cooperate with each other from now on. You got that?
Well, I don't...
Clue in, girl. Or maybe you like being worm bait.
All right, but you just remember, I will shoot you if you try anything funny.
Fine. Now take these with you. If you find anything, give me a call, all right?
Okay guys, so now we're going to get another tutorial guide on how to control both characters and alternate between them. We really don't need to read it, it's very simple. If you want to alternate between characters, just press the triangle button. You can give them specific orders. Tell them to stay put or follow you, because guess what, in Resident Evil Zero, you won't have to be alone unless you want to, because your partner can follow you, which actually makes sense because that's something that never made sense to me in the other Resident Evil games. Characters were always saying, oh, I'll go and investigate this side on my own and you can go on the other side, even though this house or this city is full of monsters and zombies, but you'll be fine on your own. Well, in Resident Evil Zero they fixed that, and if you want, you can have your buddy with you. Most of the times, not all the time, but most of the times, and that's actually a pretty good thing. So in order to complete certain sections, we'll have to keep alternating between Billy and Rebecca. Both of them have their own strengths. Billy can take more damage, not that it matters for this walkthrough. But Rebecca can mix items more easily. And we're going to get stuck inside this room with Rebecca for a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but I alternated or switched handguns between Billy and Rebecca. Rebecca's handgun is a little bit weaker, but I'm going to discard it a little bit later on. So I rather give Rebecca Billy's handgun and give Billy Rebecca's handgun, since I won't be using it for much longer. After you collect that key, send it down, and we're going to switch back to Billy, so press triangle. There we go. And we're going to move down now, get the key, and head to the conductor's room. So first time taking control of Billy here. Like I was saying earlier on, Billy is a tough guy, or he acts tough at least. But he's a big teddy bear in the end, so you really don't need to worry. Let's get out of the kitchen, we don't need to stay here. And Rebecca's stuck in the room for now, so we do have to take control of Billy. There's going to be a couple of zombies here. It actually depends. Sometimes they get up before you enter this room with Rebecca. If they don't, then they will get up as you enter this room with Billy. And if they do that, then you can just run past them and avoid them. Because once we get back into this area, we'll have a shotgun and it will be easier to dispose of the zombies. But you can take care of them now, really. This walkthrough will be divided in sections. This first segment will cover the first boss battle of the game, which is actually pretty simple, and we're going to use the knife to defeat said boss, and we'll get an achievement for doing that. I already unlocked it on my practice run, but if you're playing for the first time, you'll get it. There's no zombies here right now. They'll get up, but we can just avoid them for now. If you see that the zombie is getting up, you have plenty of time to run across the room and get out before the zombie has time to do anything. Poor Edward. I do think he was the first casualty of the Bravo team. I think the pilot of the Bravo team dies later on. But regardless, let's pick up the train map right here. It will come in handy. Press the switch to drop down a ladder. And there's a file for us to pick up. So we're going to get that now. It's right here on the ground. And there's also a briefcase for us that we need to pick up. But I'll leave it inside the cabin for now. And I'll get it once I come back down. There's also a few herbs here if you really want them. I'm not going to pick them up. And I'm going to get rid of the handgun. I don't need it anymore. All that I need right now is the knife. And we'll be getting the shotgun very soon. So that's going to come in handy. Not a good sign, but you don't need to worry, really. Okay, let's go through the door. And let's go get that shotgun. And also there's a nice pick here. Let's make sure we get that. Because we'll need the ice pick in order to get Rebecca out of the room that she's stuck in. There's a first aid spray. I'm not going to pick it up. Instead, pick up the hunting gun. That will come in handy. And there's also a few shotgun shells here. Make sure you get those. That's why we had to drop the handgun down below, so that we could pick up every single item that we need to pick up in this section. And get ready for a boss battle. It's knifing time. But it's going to be really simple, actually. Okay guys, time to take care of the Stinger. It's a pretty big scorpion that attacks that he just used. He rushes at you. You need to do a quick turn. To do a quick turn, you press down and X, and you'll be able to avoid that attack if you just run down a little bit. And as you can see, aside from that, all that we need to do is keep hitting him with the knife, aim the knife down, and keep pressing that attack button, and the stinger won't last very long at all. And you'll get a trophy for defeating the stinger, but you also get another trophy by defeating the stinger with the knife. You see, doesn't matter if it's the stinger or any other enemy in the game. If you defeat an enemy with a knife, you'll get a trophy. So you'll be getting 2 trophies at the same time by doing this, and it really works well. As you can see, as long as you keep stabbing him, he won't have time to attack you. The only attack that you need to worry about is when he does that rush attack, and to avoid that, all that you need to do is run down, and you'll be just fine. A couple more knife strikes should finish him off. On guard. Come at me, bro. I actually feel bad doing this because I'm a Scorpio and I don't like killing scorpions, but I really don't have a choice. There we go. As soon as the music stops and he starts moving like that, you know that you have defeated him. And you don't need the knife anymore, so just drop it. Like I said, you should see 2 trophies appear on your screen right now. One for defeating the stinger and the other for defeating an enemy with the knife. Like I said, I already obtained those trophies in my practice run, so that's why they're not appearing on the screen. Down the ladder we go. We won't pick up the handgun because we don't need it. Trust me on that, but if you really absolutely must, then I guess you can take it. But remember, you only have 1 slot available and we need it for the briefcase. That's going to be very important. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to take a little break here and I'm going to save my game. And then I'll be back for part number 2. I just really wanted to get the first part of the walkthrough out as quickly as possible. And as you can see, the Stinger boss battle was very simple and I promise you, you won't have any issues completing it. So make sure you pick up the ink ribbon, save your game if you want. It's a good time to save your game. If you don't want to save, then just keep going. It's all good. There's also a file for us to pick up here, but I'll get it later. So that's the conclusion of the first part of my walkthrough. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it and find it useful, and that you stick around for the rest of the walkthrough, and I'll see you all later for the next part. Take care.